And John, can you?
Not coming together.
We're not
we
coming
decided
together
against
today.
that.
Yeah, we thought it would be a little too far. John, who am I sitting in front of you dressed as right now?
Well, I think Patrick Swayze is the wrong answer.
It is. It's Luke Skywalker, and that's because Halloween is in 2 days. We recorded this one, and then yesterday, which was October 28th, was when we recorded the other one.
Was it really?
Yeah. And we just couldn't wait to get back into it.
Did you ever see the original Red Dawn?
I did not. No, I did. That's the one I liked. And then the second one, when Josh Peck made somebody else eat a deer heart, was a little weird or something like that.
I saw that one. I heard he cried a lot.
It was. I know I watched it once and was like, I'd never need to see that again. I can live the rest of my life and just not see it, and I'll be fine. I'll be okay.
There's too many remakes anyway.
That's true. But what about the original Red Dawn?
Oh, Patrick Swayze. There's a part where he's wearing a shirt like what you're wearing, no sleeves.
Oh, okay.
So it's just all the tight pants too.
Wow.
Swayze loves his tight pants.
Yeah, well, I love Swayze in tight pants too, so
I'm not going to argue with you there.
We talked a little bit before we recorded, and you told me to ask you again when we were recording. So you were recently sick, and I said, hey, can I come over and hang out for a bit? And you said, everybody's sick, but sure, if you want to risk getting sick. And I said, I won't get sick. I don't, my immune system.
What did you? No, that's not what you said.
What was like my immune system's too strong? I don't remember. I say so many arrogant things.
I think I can pull it up. No worries. It was a fun. Let me tell you this. When I was reading it, I was instantly angry. When all I was trying to do was give you a warning about the fucking. And we all had colds. We were all fucking dying, sneezing and shit. My shit's not loading. You're gonna have to find it. You'll probably find it faster than I will, but I'm just trying to be nice, I'm just trying to... You found it, didn't you?
I did. I won't get sick. My muscles are too strong. So, I said, I won't get sick. My muscles are too strong.
It put the kind of fury through me that made me... ignore the fact that obviously it was a joke, and I was quickly like, well, now I have to explain the entire immune system to him.
Do you not punch bacteria in the face? Because I do. I see a bacteria and I'm like, all right, excuse me, little prokaryote.
I'm gonna call you next time I'm hitting the Germex for that point though. That what is that 0.1 or
0.01? Yeah. I got him. I got your back, man.
So the original question was,
what were your symptoms when you were sick? Because I'm getting over something, and I want to know if I got it from you or if my muscles did their job.
Trevor, I'm not that kind of girl.
Well, if you were, it's not like I'd be trying to keep myself from you.
Well, it was just the common cold. I guess we had a sore throat, fever, coughing, sneezing. There was a little bit of nausea here and there. I didn't get it, but I know others did. Is that anything close to what you were feeling?
No. My boys, they're taking care of me. No, I just kind of at first I thought it was a sore throat from sleeping with my mouth open. Because that can happen. And so it was just whenever I breathed, felt really I wasn't coughing. I wasn't really sneezing. I started sneezing 2 days ago, but I'm pretty sure it's just allergies or something. And then that was it. I had some, congestion, a little congested, but I was like, I wonder if...
I'm going to take I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think you got what we had.
I would agree with you there.
I think you'd still be sick. I don't think you'd be sitting in my living room right now.
Are you sick currently, or are you good? You getting
I'm
better?
still kind of sick. The others who also were sick are more sick than I did. I got it over actually pretty quickly, but that's because I spent...
Because you used to work out. Because your muscles are too strong.
Actually, no, it's because I spent most of the time sick, practically just fucking hammered, because of the medicine that I got from Walgreens is only 10% alcohol, but it's like severe. It's like severe cold and flu, maximum strength. Like
fucking slamming it back.
Oh yeah, bud, we had shooters for days.
Dude, you missed the party this weekend at Chet's house. Dude, you missed it. NyQuil and DayQuil.
We were going. Fucking them uppers and downers, man. It never ends right.
We was out.
I wanted to tell you a story that kind of reminded me of when I said I'm not that kind of girl.
Okay.
It was my freshman year in high school. And
were you that kind of girl freshman year in high school?
Well...
Oh no. Oh no.
Not me. The person behind me was.
Wait, what?
Just kidding. No, I was dating this girl, and I had kissed her like 4 or 5 times.
Uh-huh.
But I also had a friend of mine living with me because like he had like real like shifty parents.
Yeah.
So at the time he was staying at my parents' house with me, and whenever I would go to hang out with her, he would come along, and I'm not really sure how that intertwines, but he ended up getting mononucleosis. You know what that is?
Yeah, I know what that is.
The kissing disease.
Yeah.
And so, of course, we're freshmen in high school. We don't really know, our ass from our elbow. So
sure, naturally.
The doctor tells him this is a kissing disease. It's usually got, from any time you are in contact with someone else's saliva or any kind of bacteria like bodily fluids, anything like that.
Right.
Which is why, it derived from kissing a lot and stuff. So he goes, we probably shared a drink or two. Just like cups or cans, and I was like, I don't do that.
Right.
Like, I don't do that at all. And he's like, all right, well, maybe it was your girlfriend. And I didn't want to be known as the person who gave my friend the kissing disease. Yeah. So I messaged her, and I was like, hey, my friend, he has this disease called the, mono or the kissing disease, and he thinks maybe he might have gotten it from you. And that was like the worst thing to say at the time because she was also a freshman. So you also didn't know her ass from her elbow.
Called her a slut.
Basically, because
hey, you've been making out with my friend.
She took it a little bit far, but I didn't even talk to her because her friend grabbed her phone and was like, "How could you say such a thing? Like, she's not that kind of girl." Like, are you fucking kidding me? I didn't. I was like, oh, my crotch has been really fucking itchy the last week or two. There's this. I thought I might have noticed a civilization going in and out of my pubes. Do you know a thing or two about that? Like, fucking no. Like, the guy's got the cold on steroids. Like, he's just puking and coughing and shit because he's a dirty boy. I don't know. But I just thought that was so...
Did you give my friend a KTD?
For fuck's sake. I can't really go that hard on it because I don't really know what it was either, but neither did we until we were like fucking treating it like it actually was herpes or some shit.
I have a big problem. I really, really hate when, girls' friends, and I'm glad that this problem went away throughout high school. Like, people started realizing, like, okay, I'm not going to be a fucking idiot anymore. But when, like, girls' friends will step in and act like, I'm hot shit. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
I was talking to a buddy of mine.
Exactly like in that story.
Right, exactly. No, that's exactly why I'm going off on this little tangent. I have a buddy of mine, and I think I've told you this story before, Isaiah. He also shares similar feelings.
Hell of a name drop there.
There's no last name because I don't want him to get any clout. He doesn't deserve it. He's
packing his bags right now. He's like, oh god.
Oh, see, I was thinking the other way. Like, Mom, I'm moving to Hollywood. I'm famous. No, but he
He's walking around like SpongeBob. Like, did you see TV last night? Did you listen to Caps Off last night? Yeah, that was me.
So he shares this hatred, this loathing that I have for that little like friend role, you know, because he would always he's a stocky guy. He's a strong man, and you know, he would get in a relationship, and this little skinny girl would come up to him and be like, if you break her heart, I'll cut your dick off. You know those girls,
Right.
those girls, and his words were, okay, I forgot her name, so it was like I'll just say like some random name like Zoe. Okay, Zoe. Okay, I punch a grown man, I knock him out. I punch you, you die. Do you understand? What are you gonna do to me? And I love that. I love that so much because there's so many like, you better not hurt her or else. Like, yeah, what the fuck are you gonna do? Look at me. Look at me now.
I wish we
if
had
I
a
encountered that
soundboard,
right now.
I could just see her just laying her out and like the Fortnite headshot, and I was like, doo-doo-doo.
A default dance on her body. Yeah, I can't stand anything like that.
Of course, I've never condoned hitting women.
Oh, yeah, me too. I also do. I'm actually gonna hit your wife since you're slacking on the job.
I mean,
Trevor, I really wish you would. I wish you would hit me.
Stop! Seriously?
I mean, if it makes you feel better,
I would win.
she said that
I
to
would
me
win
earlier.
so fast. I'd put you in the fucking ground.
Please. Why are we dancing around this? Fucking end my ass.
Throw the fucking gloves on. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna fight back. Just fucking annihilate me, please.
I can't right now. The caps are off.
Oh. Can we put the caps on later?
Later on.
After we
When the caps are
work
on,
this?
I'll just fucking lay you out.
Right.
Oh.
Awesome.
The elementary schools here, did they make you do...
Penis inspection day.
Every Tuesday.
They put your penis sizes up on a chart in the hallway.
Looks like Sammy I almost said a real name.
Oh.
Looks like Sammy's winning this week. Trevor, catch up.
Did I forgot what I was gonna say. Did your elementary schools ever hold like seasonal like concerts, like where they'd make you stand up in front of all your parents and stuff and sing like
And the rest of the school.
Christmas songs or Thanksgiving songs if there is?
The public schools didn't. The Christian academy that I went to for 2 years did.
So you, as a small child, did they ever make you like do the xylophones too?
No, we all just...
Did I go to, like, was I raised on fucking Mars? Because
Yeah,
not
I
a
do.
single other person except for anybody who was in that immediate area that I talked to can tell me that they, like, participated in anything like this. Like, I'm talking about, like, yeah, like, as a kid you had music class, obviously.
Right, yeah.
That becomes a thing
Until it got canceled.
until, like, choir comes in and then...
Did it not get cut for you guys? Oh no, in 3rd grade, music, PE, and art got cut
Holy
in
fuck.
high school because we couldn't afford it. My PE teacher, I remember us sitting her, like, because she would always bring her dog in, and she like sat us down. She was like, "Don't worry, I have another job." You know, and my dog, I forgot her name, her dog's name, but she was like, because we were all worried, like, "Is your dog gonna be okay?" She was,
Feed your dog.
she's like, "He's gonna be just fine, okay? I'm moving on, all right, and I'll see you guys around." And then my
Fucking depressing.
music teacher, Miss Fleming, told us to, if we ever saw her in public, to just scream out "Flamingo," and she would know that we were one of her students, and she'd be really happy to see us.
Life-changing moment.
And the art teacher just moved to a different classroom in the school and started teaching something else. She was like, improvise, adapt, overcome.
Oh, that's horrible.
So, it was kind of sad.
The Midwest must have prioritized in making kids sing terrible songs off key in front of the rest of the fucking school.
Okay, so 3rd grade, pre-3rd grade, you remember going to a music class every day reading songs probably from a book.
Yeah.
And, you know, the teacher usually plays a piano or something.
Something like that, yeah.
And then after you fucking all stand in the same room and do that enough for at some point, you have to do it in front of all the parents and stuff. Did you ever have to do that?
My school did square dancing.
Oh,
What?
Jesus Christ.
I hate that. I hate that. I think the closest thing I came was like when I did go to that little Christian school. They would have us like, I don't know, like each class, like grade level, I guess, would like go up and sing a little song. But I wouldn't say it was like seasonal. It would just be for like Christmas or something.
It happened a lot more than I was comfortable with at our school. Let me just put it that way.
The only memory that sticks in my brain is like, because you know how sometimes you'll tell a kid not to do something and they'll do it, and you'll wonder like, why? What made you think that was, you know?
I live in that hell every day.
Right. So I remember clear as day, the teacher, she was the librarian actually, Mrs. Potts, which is funny because Beauty and the Beast. That's the only reason why I remember, because there's the Mrs. Potts in the castle.
Okay.
And then they have that big library, which is a big
boomer.
But she was going around. They had those microphones with the big like puffy ends on them. Like I forgot, they're like windshields. I think that's what they're called. Something so you're not getting like the
right.
Yeah. And we're recording a podcast, so I should probably know what that is. But
the poof on a microphone. Everybody knows what it is. You've seen a microphone before. Like
this microphone does not have one.
If you're listening to this right now and you have no idea what a fucking microphone is, let us fucking blow your shit right now, because that's exactly how we're speaking to you.
So she came over and I was like sitting like right in front of him. She's like, guys, it's very important that you guys do not touch the microphones, okay? Do not touch the microphones. And you know already that I fucking reached a finger out to touch the fucking microphone just because I was like, that bitch is hiding something from me. There's something she doesn't want me to know. So I just touched it and it felt exactly how I thought it would feel. And she yelled at me in front of everyone. She's like, don't touch the microphones. What did I just say?
I bring this up because I was thinking about it the other day. And I think that's the furthest back I can recall when, like, the very first time that I ever caught myself in my own brain being like, I'm just going to pretend I'm somewhere else entirely right now.
Lay back and think of
Yeah, just lay back and think of England. What? I hate that term so much.
I don't,
Have you never heard that term?
I
I never heard it before she told it
It's
to
a
me.
secret lady term.
something.
It's like,
It's
I
when
guarantee
it
you she made it up.
No, I swear to God. I've had old ladies say this so many fucking times in my life. It's where it's like a boomer thing, basically.
I love
they
that.
Their sex life was so unpleasant that they would just lay back and think of England while they're having sex with their husbands to just get through it.
Think about it, it's so vague, but at
That's
the
so
same
horrible.
time, it's such a vast thought, because like, oh, what about England? They
like,
drive on the opposite side of the road,
Paddington, Spice
and they drink a
Girls,
lot
like,
of tea, and
tea,
they have tall
biscuits.
buildings.
I mean, obviously, if your sex life with your husband is that bad, you need a subject broad enough to explore
Yeah.
in depth every time.
England.
England. Lay back and think of England.
Yeah. Isn't it the most, depressing thing you've ever heard?
It's so dark.
It is.
It's so dark without connotation. Anyway.
I long for my carriage to roll across cobblestone pathways. Because
Just think of the Spice Girls for a solid hour.
when I think of England, I forget that England a lot is like a modern country like we are, you know, who's been around longer than us. That's exactly every single time I think of England.
Police in trench
Yeah, I
coats
think
and
of
the
like
big bulbous hats.
Yeah, the bowler hats.
They're like, hey, slow down now.
The canes.
I mean, they don't really. I think
lampposts on
some
each
of the
corner.
police have guns, like detectives and shit. But I'm pretty sure most of the police there don't have guns
They have
still.
swords. rapiers. They're ready to fence at a moment's notice. That's what I think of when I think of England. I remember, like, they're two guys in a room in England right now recording some podcast. I mean, like, I forget that Americans aren't, like, fucking obese.
Not every single one of them is, like, diabetic.
Dude, I so often forget that I can step foot in America and not be offered a cheeseburger and a gun. Think of England.
I think that as a second or third grader, even that far into life is way too soon to be like, I need to... Which I feel like it might be triggering for someone who has, like, a lot of repressed memories, but for someone who didn't have all that bad of a childhood, like, I mean, in hindsight, it was rough, but, you know, I lived, I was
right.
just an inner city kid, you know, but I still think that's a little too soon in your life to be like, I'm just gonna think about not doing this right now, the sky's blue, and there's what's that dog doing over there, and, you know.
Could you see dogs from your music classroom?
They had windows, yeah.
Wow. Mine was tucked away in a little, like...
In the basement. The boiler room. It's hard to tell if the music teacher's sweating because of all the steam in the room or because all the hernia. From just sitting there playing a piano their entire existence. Sing, children, sing. I've never had a good music teacher either. They were always like...
You were missing out on Miss Fleming, man.
I had a halfway decent one, but I never had like a nice, like, somewhat younger but still experienced, like, woman. It was always like some kind of like...
Isn't that always the case?
It's always some fucking, like, old, like, 90-year-old ogre-looking motherfucker.
No, Miss Fleming was like 28.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
You lucked out. I
did.
always had horrifying music.
Did your music teachers teach you how to play the recorder?
Hot crossbones, that's my shit.
If by that do you mean did they give a bunch of immature children little whistle sticks just to go?
Because I've met so many people who have been like, you play any instruments.
With it.
You know, I taught myself 2 songs on the piano in like the summer of 7th grade, and I was very proud of them. And so I got in like this, like, hey man, do you play any instruments? I would ask that a lot of the time, and people would always be like, oh, I learned how to play the recorder in elementary school.
Which is funny if they... Oh, sorry about that. Which is funny if they don't think that that's a legitimate answer, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you're actually like, I put a lot of time into that little plastic flute.
Like, come on, dude, you can't...
But they're like, that Trevor.
I'm like, really? You think that's like a good instrument? Okay, you know what? Stop wasting my time. Thanks for wasting my time. And then, like, they go home and practice Darude Sandstorm on their recorder, their perfect rendition.
That was Green Sleeves. Whoa.
What?
You said together.
Oh, I didn't notice.
My music class, actually, we were learning how to use guitars. At one point.
Whoa.
That was crazy. It's almost like we're finishing each other's sandwiches. You know what?
God damn it! No!
Did we do that in the last episode,
No.
too?
I re-listened to the last episode.
For some reason, I had a flashback to,
we've
like...
done that before.
We've done it, like, at least 5 times before. I know we've done it in your car before. That sounds bad. We've done it in your car before. Only few people can say that.
Hey, Mom. I'm just kidding. My mom doesn't listen to this. I respect her too much.
Music class. So, another reason I wanted to bring it up is we also had this very weird one where this lady came to the music class. She came for like 3 days before this event that was going to happen. The event was styled basically around like all the other concerts where all the parents and stuff are invited, all the other like grades of kids come in and sit down on the gym floor or some shit, or auditorium, what have you.
Whatever's big enough.
Except this one was different. This one was a... It was it was an assembly about African drums.
Uh-oh.
Did you have the pipe guys come to your school?
No, I didn't have the pipe guys.
I had the pipe guys come to my school.
Are you talking about those big like plastic tubes where they just hit them with like the ping pong paddle? I'm fucking jealous. I think those things are dope.
Oh.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. Are you not hella impressed by that?
I think we might be thinking of different things, because I know what you're talking about with like the ping pong paddles, but the guys like with mine, they had these like multicolored tubes, and whenever you hit, they were different lengths, so when you hit one, it made a different note, and then they would just fucking jam out and like grab new ones and play songs.
Yeah,
but not.
There's different.
You were holding the tubes, not patting the tubes.
Yeah, there's two different ways to do it.
Okay. All right, sweetie. Sweaty.
Okay, sweaty. Anyway, so she came for like 2 days to teach us these different like patterns of how to beat a drum, right? And we all got these little, they're plastic, like dollar store like plastic drum heads. Like they don't have a bottom. The sides are plastic, and the actual drum head itself is plastic.
Which is funny because that's not what you would find in Africa.
Right. The teacher had this like done up ass, like she had to sit down around it, and like huge ass drum, like sheepskin, fucking like varnished ass wood, almost looked like a barrel thing. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Might I teach you though, this wasn't an African woman. It was a big white Caucasian, like obese woman.
South African.
You got me there. So for a day she came in and we learned these different patterns to these different songs, and she would do her like solo shit while we did like the backup, like all in unison doing these things. I just remember it all. It's all sounded so fucking weird.
She was in band in high school, and her dad never came to any concerts. And so she was like, I'm gonna make something of myself.
But she
and this
also,
was her
like,
time. This was her like spotlight moment.
I feel like I need to backtrack, and we need to visualize this woman more. She's about like 4'9".
Oh God.
But very long, stringy, dried, hippie hair.
So short.
With a headband and, like, feathers and stuff woven into her hair. And then she's got, like, a vest. A jean vest. Over a long flowered shirt. And, like, those mom jeans where they have, like... like, basically, like, the waistband you'd see on, like, a toddler.
Yeah.
Like where it's real, like you can see the waistband and the ripplings. Yeah, but yeah, just like that. Like
just
basic
like
sweatpants,
right
but it's mom jeans, light, like very light blue. And what are those fucking those one sandals? Birkenstocks, perfect. She's wearing Birks.
Birks.
And then Birks.
Bro, don't step on my Birks.
And like 40 like different kinds of like
silly bands.
not silly bands. Yeah, like bracelets and shit, like on both hands, like she had so many packed together, like at least 4 or 5 inches up her arm. It was like armor.
God.
Like they could fucking bash somebody with that.
Well, if someone tried to take her moment, she was not gonna let them.
That's so funny you said that because...
Oh
Anyway, so we learned for 2 days how to do this, and then the event comes up, right?
The event.
The event.
The happening.
And they had
Sorry.
they had like cubicle dividers. You know those you can put pins into them. It's like that fabric walls.
Yeah.
They had those set up in the front, almost as if it's like a red curtain, just to hide what is to come for the audience. And such suspense. It's like built
because
around.
Because they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know.
It's so
yeah. And they're waiting. They are anxious.
Oh boy. And
the audience of parents and other students, they don't know. Sorry. Go. It looks like you're holding something back.
Well, the funny thing is we were in the gym before anybody behind the fucking, before they let any of the guests in. So we're all sitting up there with our drums all like we are right now, and our legs crossed, all just kind of talking. We're supposed to be quiet, not say anything. And we have to wait there forever. For some reason, they insisted we were in there first, so they didn't see us come in. So strange.
Naturally.
But we're like, whatever. We're like second or third graders. We're just going to go along with it. So everybody comes in, and we're ready, and the lady comes out. That's that lady that taught us. And she's doing this whole big speech about Africa and all these things that they're doing, and kind of missionary kind of things, and not missionary. I saw you that look in your eye. This isn't Thursday.
Oh.
Today is Tuesday.
Enough of that.
So no, but I'm talking about like Peace Corps and stuff like that.
Right.
So and then at the end of her speech, she's like, "We have a little show for you here today. We brought in some real African drummers." She said, "A bunch of African children." And then the teachers come out, they start pulling the walls away, and we're supposed to slide around and face them. Because we're the African children.
Right.
There's maybe 2 black kids in the fucking entire class that we were there. And we're supposed to...
Can you imagine if it was all black kids and they said, "We've gotten real African children"?
I honestly could not tell you which is worse. That maybe 2 of us were black and we're supposed to be the African drumming band.
It's funny because you are black. And no one will know the difference.
So we do the fucking thing. It sounds terrible. We're all fucking... Nobody's drums the right way. Except for the kid that's sitting immediately next to me. And
what color was his skin?
He was white.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
He was bright white. And he, in this grade that we were in together, was that year's best friend.
Okay.
We had I wouldn't say we had classes together because we were, elementary school, you're in the class, sit next together, hang out at recess, sit together at lunch, shit like that,
Right.
That's my dog, It's my G. But anyway, during the assembly, I'm doing the bullshit that they taught me, which is just, club, break, stop, break, stop, break, stop, break, it's as simple as fucking drum beats. But this motherfucker right here next to me is just wailing on his drum. He's going fucking tips of his fingers to palm and the back and forth and slapping and bringing it around. Just doing fingers a little bit.
This is what grade?
I'm pretty sure it was 3rd grade.
No.
I'm pretty sure it was 3rd grade.
That boy grew up to be Animal from the Muppets.
Don't let me mislead you though. It wasn't good.
Oh, okay.
He was going for it though. He was
just, yeah. As fast as they can go.
You made it sound like he was putting out some godly beat. So
he's laying that beat.
I gotta follow this guy. You just start getting up and just rapping, just throwing out gold fucking bars.
Straight bars.
And you know what? One of the funniest parts about it is when we were sitting there, they pulled the walls away, turned around, and she had said, you know, we have these African children here to drum for you today. I looked at the door waiting for them to bring him in. I was so excited. I was like, oh shit, we're going to get some help here today. Maybe this isn't going to be a complete fucking train wreck.
Oh, we're saved. We're saved.
All the professionals are here, thank God.
My fucking, like, I don't remember how old you are in 3rd grade, but my little dense little kid ass was like,
And you're like
so
9.
relieved. And excited because I was like, we're gonna see some real talent here. Because like, is this this is the bullshit we've been studying all week long? Like, this is it. This is Endgame. This is when it all comes together. But we get back into the classroom afterwards because we all have to, you know, rendezvous in the music room, and she'll congratulate us and talk about it. And the kid, my best friend, sitting next to her, we're kind of standing there. And we're up, you know, kind of huddled around, kind of like football style, as if we just like, she's the coach. We're like, you know, grabbing each other's shoulders, like, woo, 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 you know, but jumping up and down.
What was your school mascot?
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs on 3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Bulldogs.
So, she's talking, and he interrupts her while she's, like, debriefing, basically, just to tell her, hey, I did what you were doing. Like, everybody else was doing the beats you taught. I was going along with your beat. And then it clicked to me, he was. He was, and they were both absolute shit. It was just a bunch of fucking, like, just imagine, like, knock us down a few pegs, and just literally a bunch of toddlers with, like, with drums in a room, and just like, all right, hit him. just slap. The teacher, instructor, whatever, she's up there, slap.
Was she any good? Or was
No,
she also...
that's the point I'm getting at. I was like, in the moment, it was hard to focus on what she was doing because I was just trying to be like the hive mind of 3rd graders, where we're just, you know, and also being put off and distracted by the intense fucking drum solo going on to my right.
And you didn't even rap over it. Yeah. Pull up on a African child.
Yeah.
He's got the strap on me. Start drumming.
Got Ebola. Y'all got any flies? I thought about that the other day.
What?
It was a good that whole African drum assembly.
Oh.
And you know, it's the racist moments that really take you back in life.
It is. I love that. I felt like I had so many things to talk about in the middle. Like, every time you'd say something new, I'd be like, I got something to add. And then I just... yeah, and then I forgot. But wow. I was kind of waiting for the... because I said, you know, with the bracelets.
Mm-hmm. And
I was like, you know, if someone's going to steal her moment, she's not going to let him. And you were like, funny you mentioned that.
I thought you were going to be like, yeah, she beat the shit out of this kid.
Right, that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for some kid to, like, get up and go, like, run to hug his parents, and he just, like, knocks him back down.
This is my moment.
Don't you dare.
Sit down.
No, my friend Ethan, that's the kid. He stole her moment. He stole the whole show. I mean, I was pretty upset by his playing, so I couldn't imagine how anyone else could be seeing straight in that moment.
In elementary school, it was my friend Matt. He was my best friend. I had Matt and Damien, but it was mostly Matt. Damien and I, we hung out, but we didn't click as well.
Matt Damon.
What?
Matt Damon.
That's what I was gonna say. Matt Damon.
I didn't say. Stop.
Whoa, Matt Damon.
Whoa, Matt Damon.
My dad's got a friend named Tim. His brother's name. No joke. Alan.
Whoa, Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
Anyway, so Matt Damon and I, way back, I remember he was my partner throughout like all the shenanigans that we would go through, and if I was ever a misbehaved child, it was always when I was with Matt. Not that he was a bad influence, but he just brought out the side of me that really wanted to laugh and have a good time and didn't really care about, the consequences of my actions. Uncle Ben would be disappointed. Yeah, and I remember just, he would say the stupidest things, and I would laugh. Like, I don't know, I thought they were so funny back then. Like, it was like, we were in the old shutdown music room. That's one of the things I want to talk about, is what they turned the old rooms into when we got rid of art, PE, and music. The PE room actually got turned into, like, they changed it to the MPR, the multi-purpose room. Very, very creative. Just used it for
They're like, now
multiple
we got
things.
rid of PE, what should we use this room for? Well, there's all kinds of things we could
Like
do.
multiple things.
We'll just kind of classify it as a multi-purpose
Yeah,
room.
it could have multiple
Well,
purposes.
what are we going to do in the multi-purpose room? Well, there's a basketball hoop, and it's got plenty of just wide open space. Why don't we just use it for exercise?
They use it for the assembly. They use it for the assemblies, and it's a lot smaller than the cafeteria, which they used to do the assemblies in, and also had a stage. And then they were like, but we can move it to the multi-purpose room. But we were in the art room and the music room. Both just got shut down. They just nobody used them. At least to my knowledge, I wasn't in a class that had any fun and went to go use them. So, but there was one where we had like it was kind of an assembly. It was just like all like the 5th graders or whatever. So like both 5th grade classes, or maybe all 3. I don't remember how things worked back then. But where we, it was just that grade, and they were telling us some story about, I don't know, a kid who just didn't care about his homework or something, or, it was like, and they were like, so this is Bobby. And I remember Matt just leaned into my ear and he was like, Bobby, what the fuck? And it was not funny, but I laughed so to the point, it was one of those.
You know what? While you're telling this story, I'm putting myself in that position of you. It made me laugh.
Right, exactly. And it's not like a funny, but putting yourself there, it was hilarious. And I was just laughing, and everyone was so quiet, and it was one of those laughs where you really had to try to stifle it and try not to laugh, which made you laugh even harder, and eventually it just all came out, and I just it's just all over, and just started cackling. It was good. It was good.
Bobby, what the fuck?
Bobby, what the fuck?
I want that to be the title of this episode.
I think that should be. That absolute. Oh, I don't know if it'll let us.
What do you mean?
Profanity in the title.
Well, just do stars or some shit.
Oh, you know what? That's smart. That's so smart. You're so much smarter than me. That was.
God, Trevor. It's 3rd grade. Bobby, what the fuck?
Bobby, what the
What are we at?
We're at 43 minutes.
Incredible.
I allotted an hour and 30 just in case, but I don't see us going that far unless we get off on another tangent. We can call it about.
Well, isn't there more to your tangent?
My little side tangent about how they got rid of all the fun stuff in school.
Yeah.
Bobby, what the fuck?
Bobby, what the fuck? They did end up bringing those things back. My little sister went to that school for a bit, and they did bring those things back. Like, we used to play dodgeball. They don't anymore. They play a game where you what was it called? Like castles or something like that, or like houses.
It's called a magic ball, where they just pivot an invisible
It's one of
ball
those
to each
things.
other.
You see all the fucking memes. They're like, I'm sick and tired of these soft ass kids. It's exactly one of those, because they put dodgeballs on the floor, right? And each side has 2 little houses made out of hula hoops, like propped up on one another. And then the goal is to pick up a dodgeball and throw it at the hula hoops and knock them down. And if you hit another player, nothing happens. You are actually discouraged from hitting other players. And they play that instead of... House Attack. House Attack, that's what the game's called. And they play that instead of playing dodgeball. Yeah, and then...
Dodgeball with, like, those hard fucking rubber balls. Like...
My dad and I would go in and, like, I play dodgeball for the city. And he's a pitching coach. And my little sister's the top pitcher in the city. And we would just go in and we just, like, zoom, zoom, zoom. Just, like, bullet them through and just knock shit over. And then, if both of your houses get knocked over, you just rebuild them and the game keeps going.
That's so fucking...
It's
Is there
dumb.
a point system?
No, it's dumb. It's so dumb.
They're literally like, how can we fucking entertain these little shitbirds for fucking
Just let them
30
go
minutes?
crazy and throw shit. And there were
Hey, Dad, take that. Fucking throw it at this.
some little fucking shits
Do
in
it
there,
again.
dude. Like...
Holy shit. You gotta love the public school system.
Dude, they're wonky. I mean, I'm sure they were wonky, yeah.
I'm absolutely terrified to send my son there.
I'm sure they were wonky whenever I was there too. You know, and when you were in it, I'm sure
They've always
there
been
were
wonky.
people our
They used to be
age.
wonkier. They used to fucking beat kids with rulers and shit. Fucking lock them in closets. Well, they still do that shit. But
Bring
I mean,
that
it used
back.
to be okay.
Dude, I would have been a much better kid if the teacher was allowed to hit me, but I had
fucking lay you out.
I wasn't a misbehaved kid at all. I was actually, I tried to be a really good kid. But if I thought that the teacher could hit me, if it was in my brain that the teacher was allowed to strike me, I would have been golden. Nobody would have ever heard a peep from me, because at home I was good. I loved my parents. I was like very respectful, because I knew if I stepped out of line, my mom was gonna bend me over her knee and beat the shit out of me.
Which makes you gotta
not in a bad way though.
You gotta put some respect towards the boomers then, because them growing up, you heard stories about them getting it. So some of them were ballsy enough to be like, "Oh fuck that, man, fuck that teacher," until they get fucking bent over.
I love the term boomer. I love it so much. It's
fucking
Okay,
boomer.
it's exactly. There's so much power behind it.
Boomer.
And I'm not the kind of person to want to or to want to actually use it, but I feel like if I have it in my back pocket and I get in an argument with an older person, I can whip that shit out so fast. Listen to boomer.
I mean, isn't the appropriated age for a boomer like in the 60s?
I think so, because they're the baby boomers. That's where the
But
term
really,
comes from.
anybody above the age of like 35 that pisses you off, it's like, okay, boomer, what the fuck? Like, sit the fuck down. You
Boomer.
ruined our economy. And remember that fucking in the 1920s, asshole. I remember. Shit was roaring.
That's
Till you
next
came
year.
along.
Next year, we're back to the
Boomer.
except
20s.
it's RAWR.
Rar.
Raring. The RAR XDing 20s. No, but I'm really excited to just have that, and I feel like, all right, boomer, listen.
Even if you aren't a boomer,
You
being
can't say
called
that,
pisses you off.
Dude, that's our word. You can say boomer.
And my mother thinks she's a boomer. She's only like 46.
Yeah.
My mom, I think, is also 46, and I think she comes in and out of boomerism, because I think it's dependent on the person. If there was like,
she came down with a case of the boomer.
like, okay, think back to our when we worked at the pizza place, Domino's. Tristan was not a boomer. Gary was a boomer. The two guys we worked with, and one was just totally like, dude, kids these days don't know how to turn on a book. Where's the power button on the book? And you couldn't talk back to him because he knew jujitsu, and he would kick your ass.
Fucking Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, I got in such a big argument with him about him and another manager at the place we were all opening. And him and this girl were just both talking about, like, the Earth is flat and it's surrounded by an ice wall. And I was like, stop it. I come here to make pizzas and earn some money, chase that bread. I don't want to have to dismantle this. And he was,
it was never that simple there.
It wasn't. It was never that simple. I just wanted to go in.
Simple.
I just wanted to go in. And it wasn't a fun, kind of quirky little, like The Office. Like, oh, man, I loved my time there. Looking back, still hate it, still wouldn't go back. It wasn't... I just... Anyway, there was that one, and then...
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
We gotta go off air.
All right, hold up. Hold up just 1 second.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
I'm gonna be right this.
Why? I hate you. I hate you so much.
I had to go move my car, and so we paused it, and I thought, I was going to say back. I was actually planning on saying right back, but I thought of it as I got in my car. I was like, that's going to be hilarious. So, what were we talking about?
I have no fucking idea.
Boomers.
Boomer.
I feel like, so there was the one guy who just, you couldn't argue with him. You couldn't, because he was so set.
Oh,
and
Gary.
yeah, and he had like his like little God, because he was in the military, and he would always say things to me like, if anyone tells you if anyone asks you if I told you this, you tell them no. Like, implying that he's like using a top secret security. Like, yeah, all right, boomer, you're risking your life, your family's life, your top secret security clearance to win in an argument with a fucking pizza manager. Yeah, with a fucking 19-year-old. And then there's another guy who was similar age. He maybe been younger by like 5 years or something like that. I think he was like 33. Gary was like maybe 40. So it wasn't a huge.
He was only
gap.
40.
No, he was 50. He was 50.
Say,
he was quite a bit older, but they were
boomerism.
like makes sense, I guess. But there's another guy who was similar in rank. They were like pals, buddies. They got along, and he was just so cool. He was so much cooler. He was just a little family man. Came in, he smoked out of a pipe, not a like an actual tobacco pipe that you think of like old ship captains. You know, that was
very
him.
classy.
For
a pizza delivery guy.
For a pizza delivery guy. That was his part-time.
True, yeah. No, his main job was a lot more impressive.
But I just, I feel like boomerism, while yes, applies to actual boomers, can be based off of personality.
It's a sickness.
You can catch it.
It's a plague.
Well, because every now and again, my mom will show me a meme that's just total boomer humor. You know? Total, like, you see that and you're like, Facebook.
Is it, like, Minion bad? Or?
It's, what was it today? It was... Today, this very morning, Tuesday, October 29th, 2019, she showed me a meme that was it was a picture of Donald Trump. It was four panels, right?
Oh, okay.
And if you didn't know, the leader of ISIS was just killed, right? And people are treating it in the same...
Supposedly.
Okay, all right, boomer. People are treating it in the same way of, like, you know, when Bin Laden was killed.
We got him!
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But it was just as me, and it has literally nothing to do with whether or not, you know, who I support, who, you know, my political beliefs, nothing to do. It was just such a shit tier meme that I was like, and it was a picture of Donald Trump saying, hey, fucking, I can never remember his name, hey, fucking Sand Eater. terrorists eat sand.
Fucking,
Hey, Tusken Raider, I'm gonna back out and not chase you. And there was a picture of him, the ISIS leader, and he was like, really? And Trump says, nah. And then it's a picture of an explosion. Like a fucking nuke.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. And I was like...
This was a quality meme in your mother's eyes.
She laughed. She laughed out loud. Sometimes she'll come up with something that's just so funny. And other times
Was she rolling
she'll
on
be
the
a
floor
boomer.
laughing?
She was not rolling on the floor laughing copter. That's a joke my mom would not get. You know why?
Because
She's too on the line for boomerism.
Before we move away from boomerism, you want to talk about Gary's mom?
No. Okay. All right. So, this coworker, this boomer we worked with, way back when, in the days of the domino. His name was Gary, and this was at the time when the poop sock meme was bigger. You know, mom found the poop sock. Like shit. And then one day Gary and I were
shit.
Literally.
Bobby, what the fuck?
Bobby, what the fuck? So it was in those days, and Gary and I we weren't like butting heads, because he took a liking to me, because I was in JROTC with his daughter. Yeah, I was one of those kids. Walking past your useless fucking civilian classmates.
You were a boomer way before you even needed to be.
Boomer. And then junior and senior year, I was like a
boomer.
Anyway, so we were kind of just going back and forth, and he seemed kind of, you know, on edge, a little pissy about it. And so I was like, oh, Gary's mom found the poop sock. And he looks at me and he says, my mom's dead. And I was like, okay, all right. And then he proceeds to tell me about like his stepdad and how he beat them, and how his like you know, and he ended up like using his jujitsu, like his newfound powers or whatever, like on his stepdad was like, if you ever come back here, I'll fucking kill you. And then his mom just died a little bit before it. It was always a real touchy subject, and I really hate that he got all uppity about it just because I said, you know, and you know why he got uppity about it? Because his mom found the poop sock. And he didn't like being called out on it. He did not like being called out. My biological father passed away, and I used that as a trump card every single time he brought up his mom. He'd be like, my mom died, and I'd be like, yeah? I mean, it's cheating because I have a...
They died in related ways, too.
I think they did, yeah. It was a car accident?
She died. I thought it was you that told me that she died. Like her car broke down on the side of the highway, and she got out and started walking, and a fucking semi came by and took her out.
No,
I swear to God, you told me.
I would never.
I swear.
There's no way. I would remember
God,
that.
But I swear.
I would remember that. I would really, really, really remember that. There's no way that
How
happened.
do you not remember that?
She started
It's a
walking.
pivotal part of the story.
Semi-broom. No, I don't remember that.
Honestly, that's kind of survival of the fittest if you think about it.
Well, I mean, you're on the highway, and you can see for miles on each side.
Like, I just hit a deer a week ago. It could happen. But why would you get out of your car and just start walking? Like,
I don't remember that. I'm sorry. I feel like I would. But
Bobby, what the fuck?
so Yeah, I would use it as almost like a trump card, and it's not fair because he'd be like, "Dude, my mom died," and he pulled it after that first instance so often. It wouldn't even. It'd be something like, "Oh, Gary, are you out on the next delivery?" And he'd be like, "Just missing my mom today, man." But I don't know, and so it just got to the point where I was like, "Yeah, dude, my dad died. All right, get over it." You can't get. All right, but the point is, it's not fair for me to say that kind of stuff because I'm totally desensitized. I was 2 months old.
People deal with things differently, Trevor.
I was 2 months old when it happened. Especially boomers. I was like 2 months old, and my mom remarried, and that guy raised me, and I call him dad, and I love him very much.
Boomers will simultaneously be the guy that's like, don't disrespect the flag, and I will always stand up for it.
Right. And then...
And then they also be like, "Ooh, my pussy hurts."
My pussy hurts.
When you fucking completely disagree with them.
Don't talk about the poop sock. No. Oh.
That's like his trigger word. His fucking eyes just go red and he just starts doing karate on people.
Him and his wife were separated for a period of time, and not separated, but just like she was like in another state doing, for work or something, and so she writes him a letter, and it's all like, "Gary, I love you so much. You are, the love of my life, and I can't wait to get back to you and the kids. P.S. You're gonna get something a little dirty in the mail." And he sees P.S. and he's like, P.S. Oh no!
It happens all over again. Just destroys the room he's in.
Rips the letter up. Walks out of the house and he's like, after he just poured gasoline over the whole thing. Then he remarries. That's why he's not happy.
That's why he's not happy. I feel like we haven't built up his boomerism enough because this is the guy who's like I walked up to a conversation he was having with other delivery drivers and I stumbled into the conversation at this point where he's saying, "And I'm talking about at 18, I had 10 grand in the bank." Or no, it was 100 grand. It was 100 grand in the bank.
100 grand.
I had my own landscaping business.
That was me. That was not a conversation with that was a conversation with me.
Was it?
Yeah, and he was telling me to set aside
God.
10% of my paycheck every single, and I could, and he was like, "Yeah, I had my own business. I had $100,000 in the bank," and I'm like, "All right," and you still joined the army?
Yeah. He had to go get him. He's fucking G.I. Joe.
It's his calling.
This has been fun.
This has been fun. I'm glad we're back to it from yesterday.
Yeah. It's always good to break down the day with somebody.
Yeah, talk about boomerism and boomer humor. And I really think it's like it can go from person to person, Sometimes some people are just so hard.
Racial quandaries in elementary schools.
And you were right about
fucking Bobby.
Bobby, what the fuck? You were right about them being so I will stand for this flag and I am a proud patriot. Always stand up for what you believe in, and if you have one differing opinion, it's like the end of the world, and they're gonna die on that hill no matter what. And I remember I came to that realization because I saw a meme forever ago, in 2016, which was 3 years ago, and I remember I was just scrolling through, and someone that I was friends with on Facebook shared something, and it was like one of those fucking skull, where they're riding the bicycles.
Yeah, I love those.
Fuck being politically correct. I'm gonna burn the flag if I want to. And I was like I really kind of didn't agree with it. I was like, I mean,
I love those pictures so much.
But I remember just seeing that, and I was thinking
I love the joke ones too that are born to shit, forced to wife.
Yes. Forced to wife. But yeah, it was one of those, and I remember seeing that, and it was that little reaction video, the little I can't argue against that. I mean, I can try, but when he's right, he's right. So, all right, you wanna wrap this thing up? We're at about an hour and 5 minutes now.
Unless you had anything else to talk about.
I don't think so.
I don't either.
All right. Well, this has been Caps Off episode 2.
It's such a dull ending. We're both just like,
I'm tired.
Like we put all of our serotonin into that last hour.
The last episode actually really took it out of me. So it was so recent.
Well, I hope you bring your A game for tomorrow.
I will. I'll bring notes. I'll bring a whole thing. Well, all right, John.
Didn't we shake hands the first one?
Did we?
I think we did.
Let's fuck it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor.
All right, John. Sing us out.
It's so wet.
Can you tell him to shut the fuck up?